Hey everyone, it's Brandon from TopTenGamer.com, and if you're new here, we love to do PC builds. This is the 7th and 8th build in a 10-part series that I'm doing that I upgrade just about twice or 3 times every single year, and that stays updated on our page at TopTenGamer.com. I do this because hardware is constantly changing. Rebates, what I consider a value part, changes literally every single month, and I want to get that out in front of you guys. Jumping right into the $1,250 build, let's talk about the CPU. The i5-4690K Haswell refresh processor is the one for me right here. I'm not going to change my mind on that. You've got other options like the FX8350 from AMD. You could go with a non-Haswell or non-Haswell refresh option. But for me, it's the one I'm going to get. And you know what? When Broadwell's released here, probably second quarter of 2015, I'll probably recommend a similar i5 in this price range. For motherboard, I like the Asus Z97A. Asus is always a quality option for me. Super easy to use. This particular motherboard is full of features, regularly goes on rebate. You can also look at a Z87 chipset motherboard like the Z87 Pro or the Sniper Z87 and try to get like a good deal on a previous chipset here. But overall, I think most are going to want that Asus Z97A. For RAM, we're going with the Kingston HyperX Fury, 8 gigabytes of that. That's just a cheap and fast model. Nothing more to it than that. If I can, I usually like to go with like G-Skill Ripjaw RAM. But really, you know what? If it's overpriced, I'd rather just go with something like this. For case, you've got 3 options here. The Corsair Carbide 200R, half a 912 or N400. Power supply, we're upgrading the power supply with this model to the EVGA Supernova 650G1. I'm not sure how many of you were here when I made my power supply list last year where I ranked them into tiers and kind of went off of what everybody else had done in the past as well. The EVGA Supernova 650G1, I'd call it a tier 1 power supply. Gives you high efficiency. It's a quality power supply with a low price, up to 90% efficiency at a typical load. So that's why we're going with that model. For graphics card here, we're sticking with the GTX 970 that we used in our $1,000 build, just so that we can keep a little bit more of our budget to use on other things. You could certainly take the budget we had with our $1,000 build and just make it $1,250 and put that $250 towards the GTX 980 here, the fastest single performing graphics card on the market right now. But I think for the most part, people want more flexibility. And since most people are still playing in 1080p, a lot of people won't see the difference between the 970 and the 980. Now, if you're gaming in 1440p, or if you're trying to push, 120 frames, maybe you'll see this differently. Now, for capacity, we're going with the Western Digital Caviar Green 3 terabyte hard drive. It's a 5400 RPM drive, so it's a little bit slower, but you get more capacity for what you pay. And in addition to that, it's quieter. So I think for the most part, you'll want to put your games on what I'm going to mention next, which is the solid state drive for this build, which is the Samsung 850 EVO, or you could go with the cheaper Crucial MX100, either one of those. Going to get 250 gigabytes of that, and then you're just going to want to install your games on that. If you're playing Hardline, you're playing Battlefield 4, then what's going to happen is you're going to be the first one to load in. So while your solid state drive is not going to impact your frames per second, it is definitely going to get you in faster, and it's something that I have to have personally. So if you don't have to have that and don't have to have the higher capacity hard drive, then again, you could allocate more of your money here to the GTX 980. CPU cooler, we're going with the Hyper 212 EVO. That's my staple product. $30 gets you a cooler that's going to allow you to do a good overclock. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, moving right on to the $1,500 build here. As you can see, it's a lot of the same and a few subtle differences, and I'll tell you what those are. First, let's talk about the RAM. I jumped up to 16 gigabytes here. I think at this price point, a lot of us are filling in the gap. And, we as gamers, or we're pretty complicated. We do a lot of different stuff. We use a lot of different programs that are RAM intensive. And whether you guys are doing photo editing or graphic design, I think there's a lot of reasons to want to get 16 gigabytes of RAM at this point. Case, we're going with the Fantex Pro. That's going to give you a whole lot more room, a little more airflow, not a ton more airflow than the half 912, but overall, just a fantastic case. I haven't reflected it in my list of the top full tower cases that I made for last year, but it's definitely the first on the list in terms of the value, what you pay, and what you're getting right now. In terms of graphics card, we're jumping up to the king right now, the EVGA GTX 980, the best single performing card on the market right now in terms of pushing FPS. And you're going to want to look around to try to find the best deal here. It's going to be about $500 to $550. Try to find a rebate, but really EVGA knows what they can charge for this card. The 300 series from Radeon will probably be coming out sometime soon and may eclipse this, but who knows if EVGA is waiting for the 980 Ti in the works. And even if they do release the EVGA 980 Ti, this is still a great performing card in the $500 range, so you're not likely to see too much of a price cut here, maybe $50. So hard drive, we're sticking with what we had before, and solid state drive, but overall, just a fantastic computer, fantastic performer for both 1080p or even 1440p. If you're going to plan to jump to 1440p, just make sure you have a PCI Express 3.0 compatible processor. The i5 4690K is very good for that. The i7 4790K would be even slightly better. So you'll have to determine whether the money is worth it there. It's certainly not going to be worth it in terms of cutting a graphics card, but it will push additional FPS. Okay, so that is the $1,250 and $1,500 build, and you know what? We've got a $2,000 build and a $2,500 build coming up later this week. That will wrap up this PC building series that I started a few months ago. And you know what? I'm updating these things like never before, and you can stay up to date with it as well by going to TopTenGamer.com and going to my gaming computer build article, where I actually keep 10 PC builds updated at all times. Sometimes those are different than what you'll see in the video at a given time, and that's just because it's a lot more difficult to update a video than a post. So don't forget to go there if you're building a computer this month. Also, I'd like to get you guys more involved. Join us at facebook.com/TopTenGamer. You can also leave a comment in the section here below or subscribe to our videos. Getting you involved helps us to make better PC builds and allows us to bring more products in front of you that you may haven't seen before or may haven't had the time to discuss before. You can, if you've got a difference of opinion, I also love to hear that in the comment section below. I'm not always right. There are people here that point out mistakes in just about every single video that I make, and I fully understand that. But you know what? As I go forward, hopefully these PC builds continue to improve and continue to be more mainstream in terms of what everybody thinks would be best. Later this week, I also have a couple unboxings. I know that not everybody's into the unboxings, but I have another gaming mouse to bring for you, as well as a Bluetooth speaker, both of which I think are pretty cool. If you have time to watch those videos, that's great. If not, I understand. I'm going to continue to make those videos because I'm trying to get in with manufacturers. That's part of growing the channel, and bringing things in front of you now means that I can keep bringing bigger and better things in front of you later on. So that's kind of the goal with the unboxing videos. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Feeling pretty good after the President's Day yesterday because, you know, had a day off, had some time to spend some time with family and some friends, and I've been going to the gym and working out. I'm not fit by any means, but I'm less fat, which is better than more fat. So hey, you know what, anytime you can be less fat, that's a good thing. So that's my goal there. So hope you guys like this video. If you do, then you can help me out by pressing that like button. That helps me a ton, because what that does is allows more people on YouTube and even on when they do a Google search to see this video, and gives me more exposure. Also, what you can do to help is hit that subscribe button, because that allows you guys to see me on your YouTube page. Anyway, if you like this video, like and subscribe. You can ask me any question here, as well as on facebook.com/TopTenGamer or on TopTenGamer.com, and we'll see you next time.